Okay, so the recording is now in progress. And once again, good evening to all. Hold on one moment. Let me be able to share my screen. Let's see if I get this correct. So, hold on 1 minute. Bear with me as I get this organized. Okay. WebEx is not just as intuitive as Zoom, so hold on one moment because I do not have the right thing up.
Really good to see you, Madam Chair.
Yes, good to be seen. Good to be seen with everything going on. It's good to be seen. How are you, Miss Dickerson? You good?
I'm awesome. But unfortunately, you can't see me.
Oh, all right. Hold on. I don't know what's happening with my computer right now, so I do apologize. I was hoping to pull up the agenda, but it's has a mind of its own and doing what it wants to do.
I
So
appreciated that smile, Mr. Dearborn, very much. Thank you.
hold on one moment if we could. Okay. Okay. I'm not sure why I'm having such difficulty right this minute. Okay. Wrong thing. That is not the correct thing. Give me 2 more minutes to try to sort myself out here. Do apologize for this technical glitch. Let's try again. Okay. Okay, here we go. Got it. Got it. And we are ready to share now. I think I have this right. Yes. And you're not seeing, oh, wait. Okay. Now you should be seeing my screen. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, great. All right.
we got it.
So, okay. So let us get into it. So we one of the things that I like always to start my committee meetings off is just establishing some norms, and basically it's just equity of voice. Everyone should have the opportunity to speak and go over and share their opinions on any item that concerns our parks and our recreation um, in the borders of within the borders of Community Board 12. Um, First up, there, following the agenda, we have there is a possible opportunity to help a community member who is has a community garden that they have kind of created at 3185 Gunther Avenue near Hammersley. Mr. Fuller, I don't, excuse me, and my voice is a little bit raspy today. Mr. Fuller, are you on the line by any chance? Mr. Fuller? Okay. All right, he is not here. All right. But I did have an opportunity to speak with Mr. Fuller about a week and a half ago or so. And what I think that he needs the benefit of the structure that we can provide for him to really establish his community gardens to be able to get the resources necessary to really do more with his community garden, get more involvement from the community. So I have reached out to Jama Gardens, I think I'm pronouncing that right. And they the young lady who really spearheaded that, Jaylene, is interested in also speaking with Mr. Fuller and helping him to get that off the ground. So that is something that we hopefully will be doing more of this summer. That's what we're looking forward to. Um, I spoke to Mike Ortiz briefly, and moving on to agenda item 3. I did speak to Mike Ortiz briefly today, and what they're trying to do is establish a meeting that's going to take place in person in reference to the pedestrian bridge and the alternatives that have been presented. Is there anyone here that is available to speak to that? Okay, so we'll get back to that. Is Mr. Felix Rodriguez here?
Yes, I am. I'm here. Good evening, everyone.
All right. Good evening, Mr. Rodriguez. I'm going to stop sharing for 1 second. There we go. Okay. And so I don't know if you have any updates that you would like to share with us, or, and I have a few questions for you also.
Okay, and not really any new updates. The pools are opening up the 29th of this month, so for the whole all borough wide. And basically, the season is upon us already. We can consider us as we're in the summer seasons now, so we keeping up, trying to keep our best, keep up with grass cutting, cleaning, and due to us slightly short staffing we have, but we're doing the best we can out there. But the district is hanging in there. They're doing what they need to do out there.
Okay. So does anyone have any questions for Mr. Rodriguez? And Mr. Rodriguez, please introduce yourself to everyone that who might not know your position, please.
I'm Administrative Park Recreation Manager, Felix Rodriguez. I oversee District 11, 12, and 14.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Mr. Rodriguez?
I have a question.
Um, help me with, excuse me if I mispronounce your name. Naeem?
Yes, it is Naeem Tyson.
Did I get it correct? I did. Naeem?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Mr. Naeem, please go ahead.
Mr. Rodriguez, I don't know if you've read in the papers, but unfortunately there was a body found in a park on a pathway on Edson Avenue near 239th Street and the MTA yard. And I was wondering, whom do I write to get someone to actually take care of the weeds out there? Those weeds are around 3 feet high now, and it's basically going to be a magnet for vagrancy during the summer.
Okay. Basically, there's part of the MTA. That's what you're applying to. That the weeds are growing high in that area.
Yes.
Most likely it's the Metro North. But if you give me the exact location, and I can give you my email address, and I can see if it is my property for definite, because I know it runs parallel with the MTA. So, but I want to make sure before I move forward to who I need to pass it on to. So my email address is Felix.
You can put it in,
put it in
Mr.
the chat?
Yeah, put it in the chat. I find that's the best
Okay.
way to communicate this way. If someone didn't get a chance to write it down, they can take a quick picture in the chat and they'll have it.
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez.
No problem.
Okay. Any other questions for Mr. Rodriguez?
Hey, I had a question, but also hello. Hi, Felix Rodriguez.
How you doing?
Good. Nice to meet you. My name's Grace. I work with the Natural Areas Conservancy. We've been in that park working for about like 2 years now, and with a new change of roles in that park in the region, we would love to connect with you. So just throwing that out there. And cool. Yeah, I'll follow up with an email. Thanks.
So which park wooded area is working on?
In Seton Falls.
Seton Falls, okay.
Yeah, Seton Falls specifically. And I'll be sharing more about an upcoming event during this meeting.
I think it's the 24th, correct?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, I was
Um,
gonna reach out to you, but I was so wrapped up with other things. But definitely we can talk about for the 24th and see what kind of things you want to do there and everything.
okay, okay, awesome. I'll connect with you offline then. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions for Mr. Rodriguez? Okay. I have a few questions. I just wanted to know, um, I know that you said that you had a shortage of staff and you know that you need seasonal help. Anything coming through to let you know that we will be adding additional personnel, or what you have now, that's going to be it?
I think this is what it is. What is it for now until I don't know what's the next month of the new budget will come. I do not
Okay.
know at this time. So, but this is whatever I'm getting. This is what I get right now for the
Okay.
District 12 area.
All right. And also because of, and speaking about Seton Falls Park, I happen to reside in the area of that park, and I know that um, there was an issue. Not, well, I wouldn't want to say issue. Let's phrase that differently. I would say that I noticed that the around the perimeter of the park, it usually is maintained. I would see at, especially during this time of the year, at least once every 5 weeks or so. But there came a point where it was went way beyond that, so that when as I was like walking my dog around the park, I have to duck my head and before a bush hits me in the head or something. So
Okay.
I just wanted to like kind of check in on like that maintenance of the Seton Falls Park or around the perimeter, around the area, and have an idea of what your schedule is like with that.
I will look into it, but I know they're supposed to hit it every once a week. But I will address. I will
I,
look
I can
into it first.
I can tell you for sure that that is not happening.
That hasn't happened. Okay.
No,
So that's the way
they
the schedule should be. It should be
okay,
that way. And I will look into it and I will
right,
address it and I will push it to need to hit it twice a week more. And then they have to
right.
maintain. I know the outside of the park has to be bad. If it hasn't, if I'm going by what you said, if it hasn't been hit, I will.
And now it recently was cut back, but up until that point, it had been some time. It was just recently
Yes.
cut back, and I was like, well, I
I
know
think it was
that.
the last time was covered because of the movie night that we had there. And
Yeah, I don't even think it was cut for the movie night, to be honest. They might have done something closer to the Stars and Stripes, and I see Renee Patterson on the line, and Renee can maybe verify if it was done in the park because I didn't go in the park per se, but I know the perimeter of the park was not done for movie night. It was
okay.
not. Okay, so I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Ms. Patterson, since you're on the line, do you have any other issues in reference to Seton Falls? And just to be able to introduce yourself to the group.
Hi, I'm Renee Patterson, president of Seton Falls Park Coalition, the Friends Group of the park. We've been in the park now for over 15 years, off and on. Mr. Rodriguez, it's very nice to meet you. Welcome
Same
aboard
here.
as the park manager. I'm sure Matthew Dorian has wonderful things to say about us. So
Yes, he does.
I'm sure he does. The park was cut for the movie night.
Hmm.
There was a crew that came in the Friday before the Saturday we had the movie night.
Yes.
And I thank you tremendously for that because that part of the park where Stars and Stripes is, where the park
Hmm.
meets Baychester Avenue and Crawford, was in terrible condition. They had cut the grass 3 weeks prior, but they
Hmm.
didn't come back with the trimmers and the edgers and things like that. So it almost looked like it wasn't cut. But I thank you for that because we had 350 people that attended that
I
movie.
heard that was a great turnout. I
Yes,
did hear
very
it.
much so. Very much after our, this is our fifth movie. We're not new at it, but thank God
No.
we had such a great turnout. But on the side of Marola Place, it has not
Hmm.
been maintained. If you turn the
Okay.
corner to Pratt Avenue, that has
Hmm.
not been maintained either. East 233rd Street, we don't have much of a problem because they put the new fence there. So when they
Hmm.
did the new fence, they cut the whole East 233rd Street back. They took down dead trees, they planted new trees. So East 233rd Street is not as bad. We have the problem with the litter and the garbage on East
Hmm.
233rd Street. But Marola, from where Palmer starts down to Pratt, is in terrible condition. from Pratt that goes all the way to Light Street on Pratt Avenue, terrible condition. All of those trees are overhang. The grass has not been cut where the fences meet. It just doesn't look good at all. At all. And it's scary. It's very scary. You don't want to be there at night. If you have to walk your dog at night or you're coming from the subway at night, you're terrified.
I'll look into that. I definitely will touch bases with my supervisors tomorrow, and we'll look definitely into that and see what's going on, why the site has been neglected in their part.
Okay. Thank you so much. Ms. Bond, did you get the agenda items that I sent you?
No, I'm sorry. When did I've been a little bit under the weather, Miss Patterson. So when did you send them?
I sent them, I think the beginning of this week or last week, to ask Mr. Rodriguez about.
Well,
I emailed them to you. I didn't text them this time.
I'm sorry. I did not see an email from you. I did not.
Do you
Okay,
mind
so
if I discuss those two things with him?
go right ahead, Miss Patterson.
Okay, we have no water in Stars and Stripes playground. The pipe is busted from the park.
Yes, I am aware of that. That's why we had to get the Porta Sands in there for you guys.
Right, but I understand the Porta Sands have been locked.
Been locked. It shouldn't be locked.
Yeah, they were locked.
All right, I will look into that. Yeah, because that's for you. That basically that's what we got for you guys because we did and everything. But I will look into that. Why they're locked? It shouldn't be locked. It shouldn't be. Because I know we have a service contract that the service they come twice a week. Every Tuesday and Thursday, they're supposed to come out and clean those Porta Sands.
And I've seen, and Mr. Rodriguez, to whoever's credit, and thank them for it, I have seen them because they usually come at about 6, 7 at night. So I've seen the truck come and pick up whatever they need to pick up in the porta potty. But my question is, when will we get that pipe fixed? We have no water fountains. We have no access to bathrooms. We have no sprinkler. When can that pipe be repaired?
I will look into it and I will I will talk to my shops, ahead of the foreman of shops, find out what's the status on that. Because this is new to me. I know there was a situation, but they never really got into the history of why they never did the repairs yet. But I will look into it. Definitely I will.
Okay, I really appreciate that. And on East 233rd Street, we do have a sprinkler there at High Rock Playground. And of course, we have the waterfall. So when will they be turned on?
I have to look into that because I thought they were turning on all the waters by now. But
no, I haven't seen
they have it yet. Okay, no. I definitely will look into.
Because I know last time there was a problem with the key last year. The key
valve.
It had gotten bent. So I don't know if they repaired the key or they repaired that little, I don't know what you call the metal piece where they have to put it in that metal piece into, because I guess that's the old
into the pipe, into the pipe.
You have to put the key right.
You put it into the pipe and you could turn the key to turn on the water.
Exactly. So that little piece was bent. So I don't know, but they were going to repair that. So I don't know if it's repaired or not, but we don't have the falls is not on, and neither is the sprinkler at High Rock. And that's extremely important because if
it definitely will. Yes.
If we are not going to have a sprinkler at Stars and Stripes, we would be able to at least send our children over to High Rock Playground to the sprinkler.
No, definitely. I will look into that all tomorrow and find out what's going on with that.
Okay. And those are my 2 questions. Thank you so much, Mr. Rodriguez.
You're welcome, Patterson.
Ms. Patterson, I just included, because I double checked my email and I didn't see anything from you, but what I did was include in the chat for you my email address again, just to make sure you have the correct one, okay?
Thank you so much, Ms. Bond.
Okay, no problem. All right. I do see, hold on one second. Let me go back to our agenda. Slippery slope, and I'm trying to share. Let's see. Okay. All right, hold on. Next, I see that there's someone here from Woodlawn, and I think that we had looked at that agenda item before in terms of the footbridge, the pedestrian bridge. Is there someone here who wanted to discuss that? No. Okay.
Oh, good evening, Ms. Bond. Tom Winter from the Woodlawn Taxpayers. I
Yes.
apologize. I signed in a little late. No
Okay.
need to go back for me. I'll just be listening in. Thank you.
Okay. Well, can I call you Tom?
You certainly may.
Okay, so Tom, so I do not have any more information at this moment. I did speak to Mr. Ortiz, and he's looking to organize a meeting um, later in this month, and that will be an in-person meeting. I don't have any more details as to when he's going to actually, like where the location of that is going to take place, but as soon as we do get more information, we will be sending that out to through our email list that we have, and so all the constituents will get the information in advance so that everyone can participate. I know that this is a very important issue within our community, and we do want to see it addressed. I think that it's long overdue, and we need to have some resolution to it. So, and I know that it involves community boards 12, 11, and 8, I believe. So that's why I think we have to have more of a broader meeting so that all voices can be heard on this issue. So that's all the information I have at this point.
Great. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. And I think there is definitely interest. And I think, I don't know if you've heard already, but I think the primary interest is if the project is not going to happen, then we retain the funds more locally than not.
Right.
And
And
we know that there are limitations to that. So
correct. And I think that it's of concern that there was funds available and how those funds were used. That is another thing that also needs to be addressed.
yes, yep. So thanks again, and I'll continue to listen. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. No problem. All right. Now I this wasn't an agenda item, but I'm going to include Grace. Where are you? Did I lose you, Grace? No, there you go. Grace Musette is going to make a short presentation. Grace, the floor is yours. And
Okay.
I wish you better luck in navigating the sharing.
Let's see. Oh boy. 1 second.
Sure, go right ahead.
Okay.
WebEx is just not user friendly. I'm convinced. So
Yeah, I'm just not used to it, and I
yeah,
of course have 1,000 tabs open. So
yeah,
how it
yeah.
goes.
That's the other thing.
All right, this looks correct. I
Okay.
think. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Looks good.
Okay, so I'm just gonna blow that up. Everyone can see that. Good.
Yes.
Hi everyone. Again, thanks for having me. Like I said earlier, I'm Grace. I work with the Natural Areas Conservancy and Community Forestry and Engagement. We've been working in Seton Falls Park for about the past year and a half, along with the Seton Falls Park Preservation Coalition. So, hi, Ms. Patterson. I'm happy to see you on this call. And I'm here because I wanted to let you all know about an upcoming workshop in Seton Falls. It'll be on June 24th, about a half-day workshop. So during this workshop, we'll cover local ecology, wildlife, plant life, and biodiversity, as well as how to care for the forest and its trails. So this is a good opportunity for community members, neighbors, environmentalists, and educators who'd like to increase their forest knowledge, comfortability within the the trail system in Seton Falls Park, as well as those who may be looking to connect with others in their community and their borough. Part of this event will include a community-centered kind of like reflection piece where participants will be able to meet with one another, reflect, and connect about care in the park, their interests in the park, how the forest nurtures them, how they want the forest to nurture them, and finding ways to work with one another in the park. So for this event, of course, we're going to be, NAC will be there, as well as members of the Seton Falls Park Preservation Coalition, the NYC Park Stewardship Team, as well as Urban Park Rangers and the New York Botanical Garden. So it'll be a really immersive educational event. We'll also be providing educational materials, including books and guides, for 20 adult participants. So there is an event limit. So if you know anyone or you yourself would like to join, please register and sign up and join us. We're really excited for this event, and we think it'll be a really good opportunity to connect with more community members and keep growing the stewardship and forest knowledge around the park. And that is all for me. If anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer them. And I'll leave this up in case anyone wants to take a photo. And I can also, oops, you can see this. I need to, oh boy. Well, I'll drop the Eventbrite link when I can figure out this screen share, because I have a ton of tabs open. So 1 second.
Right. And if I could just jump in here, one thing, Grace, and also since she has this information up, if you would like to use the QR code, this is where you could just scan that, and that it will take you to a link where you could share, where you could register for the event as well.
Yes, that
Right.
is that. Whoops. Oh my gosh.
I told you, Grace. See, it's a slippery slope.
Oh my
This is
gosh.
why the
Everyone
sharing
sees my screen. So let me try to find the chat now. All right. Here is the Eventbrite link directly.
Perfect.
So yeah, anyone interested? Oh, there's a question from Stephanie Roth. Where are these events typically advertised? So I do a lot of like direct to community advertisement. So I'll send it to Ursula at the community board, Miss Patterson at the coalition, the library, kind of like these personal connections that we've created throughout the community, as well as the Y. And sometimes we've done events with park stewardship. So those events will be on the park stewardship site. But Stephanie, I believe I have you on my list from being on this community board meeting a couple of times, so I can send you that information.
Beautiful. It's a beautiful event. I'm sorry I'll be away. I would love to go.
Oh, that's too bad. Well, if you know any other colleagues of yours who could be interested, this is a great opportunity for educators to kind of know the forest, learn about it, and think about ways that they can bring their students out too.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you so much for that, Grace. Does anyone have any other questions for Grace? Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to ask Grace to stop sharing for one moment. And then I'm going to see.
Stop sharing. Do you still have it up?
I'm so sorry. Say again?
I think I did stop sharing.
No, I'm still seeing your screen.
Interesting. Oh, okay. Got
There
it.
you go.
How's that? Okay, cool. Thanks.
No problem. I see Victoria Toro on the line from the Bronx River Alliance. Do you have any upcoming events that you would like to speak about? Hi, Victoria. Always good to see you.
Good to see you too, Ms. Bond. Yes, so we have, I've mentioned this here at the meetings this past season before, but we do have this environmental survey that for anyone who lives, works, or recreates along the Bronx River or in the Bronx River watershed. That obviously includes, visiting Shoelace Park or Bronx Park as a community member. We would love to hear your feedback on environmental concerns in the community. And so I put the link to that survey in the chat in case anyone on the call has not had a chance to fill that out. This survey will help inform the community input portion of the Bronx River watershed plan. So we're developing updates to that plan in order to create a climate resiliency strategy for the Bronx River. So obviously, we know from the past week, like our communities are facing new challenges all the time as far as the environment and climate change are concerned. So we'd love to get, sort of community-based concerns as well as solutions and feedback on helping form out a strategy, so it's not just top down solutions. We want folks, everyone who has an opinion and has experience in along the Bronx River watershed to be able to give input. Thank you so much, Grace. I appreciate. Yeah, and feel free, like anyone who's an educator, or if you have roots in the community, have a church in the community, anyone who has opinions on ways on the issues that the Bronx River communities are facing, as well as what are the best solutions in your mind on areas to focus on remediating or creating more green infrastructure or more green spaces, or anything of that sort, right? Where are you experiencing flooding? Where are you experiencing extreme heat? All of those sorts of things. So we'd really appreciate folks filling that out and sharing it with community. The other thing is that I know, the community boards go into a bit of a break over the summer. So I just wanted to put this on your radar now, that we're having the Bronx River Showcase again this fall on October 21st. So that's really exciting. We already have the date set. We're going to see if we can maybe get Councilmember Riley involved. We're, of course, would love if the community board or the committee would like to be involved or table with any information, or again, if you have partners or community members that would be interested in providing tabling at that event. We're going to be similar to last year. There'll be free paddling. There will be, educational tabling and activities. There will be walking tours or biking tours, and lots of giveaways and things like that, including Rap for Bronx has already signed on to do a free produce distribution, basically essentially a free farmers market up in Shoelace Park on October 21st. So just wanted to put all of that on your radar. And check us out, because our paddling schedule is in season now. So I'm going to put the link in the chat as well. If you go to bronxriver.org/paddle, you'll see our June paddling schedule is up, and July should be up soon. And those include some upper river paddles that leave from Shoelace Park and end up at the Bronx Zoo. It's a really special, fun experience that's family friendly, and it's really cool. So I am Victoria Toro. You can, if you have any questions at all about anything that the Bronx River Alliance does, or any of our programming, or anything that I just talked about, feel free to send me an email. I'll put that in the chat as well.
Okay. And Victoria, I see that Ms. Patterson has her hand raised. I believe she has a question for you. Ms. Patterson?
Hi, Victoria. Nice to see you again. I just wanted to give you a big up for the paddling. I did the paddling about 7 years ago when I was a lot younger, and it was a beautiful, beautiful experience. I recommend that anyone, individual with children, do the paddling from Shoelace Park to the Botanical Gardens. It is a wonderful, wonderful experience. I didn't think I would be able to do it,
Thank
but
you.
I had an experienced paddler with me. I had Milka and
Folks
her
out on the water.
friend, so they showed me what to do. But please do it. It's a wonderful experience.
Well, now that you said that, Ms. Patterson, now you give me the courage that I think I should do it too.
Yeah, believe me, if I can do it, you can do it, because I was terrified. But once I got in there, and the beauty, just the beauty alone, you're like, wow, am I in the Bronx?
Okay, nice. So I look forward to that. I'll have to challenge myself.
Thank you so much, Ms. Patterson. I love to hear that, because that's truly, like, people come off the water changed. It's amazing.
It's amazing. It really was quite amazing. And I'm a scaredy cat. But I mean, once I got in there, I was like, okay, I can do this, and the river is not that large there, so you can really get it done. I don't think I could go past the botanical garden where the river opens up. No, I couldn't do that. But it's not that wide. So it's a beautiful experience.
All right. So it's a little less threatening.
Absolutely, because you can see on both sides. Both sides.
Okay. All right. All right. I'm gonna work up the nerves to do it. I can do it. I can do it. But as always, Victoria, thank you so much for coming out to the meeting. Thank you for sharing the information with us. We appreciate that. Anyone else have any other questions or comments for Ms. Toro? Okay, perfect. All right. Does anyone else have any other things that they would like to discuss within the Parks and Recreation Committee at this time?
So,
Okay.
yes, we have an announcement. July the 7th, Seton Falls Park Coalition is going to start our first nature walk that Anita Henfield is going to conduct.
Okay.
And we will be identifying plants. We will be going through the park to see if you can identify trees yourself, if you know the difference between a maple and an oak and a sweet gum. So I hope everybody will be able to come out. It's going to be July the 7th. Thank you.
Okay. And also, I just wanted to make everyone aware that's on the call that Jumba Gardens, they were supposed to have their planting event this past Saturday, but they canceled it. So they will be actually having their event. Hold on, let me just double check the date to make sure I give out the right information in terms of the date. So the new planting date will be Friday, June 16th from 12 to 4. They have 2 weeks really to get the plants into the ground. And they arrived on June 7th. So it is a time sensitive um, matter, and they really could use all the help they can get. They have 550 pollinator plants that they will be planting. And so it's a nice way to participate in that. And the garden, once again, is located at 3601 Marola Place, 3601 Marola Place. And so that new date they're calling it a planting party and grounding session. Um, and that will be June 16th from 12 to 4. Then there's also one other event that I wanted to make mention of. Juneteenth Jubilee will be taking place at the Phoenix Community Garden. Now, I'm going to try to look for a link for that because that was sent by, and what I love about this is that once you kind of fall into that network of gardens, and I'm hoping to do the same thing for Mr. Fuller, you really do get a way for other people to publicize all the different events that you have in your garden. So, I don't have one for the Juneteenth event. I don't see that I have a link for that, unfortunately. But it's the Phoenix Community Garden that's hosting that event on Saturday, June 17th from 1 to 3:30. Okay, so those are all the different announcements that I have on my end. Any other announcements, concerns, questions? Ms. Patterson, your hand is up from previously, or you have something else?
Oh, I'm sorry, I put my hand down. Thank you.
All right, no worries. All right, anyone else? Oh, Ms. Patterson, um, Stephanie Roth was asking if you have flyers for the July 7th event so that she would be able to share those within her school.
Not yet. We don't have it for July 7th, not yet. But we're gonna send it to the community board. So I know
Right.
Ursula still sends out things in the summer.
Yes.
So if she's on the community board's communication, she'll get it.
Great.
Oh,
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay,
Great.
thank you.
All right. And Miss Roth, since you're on the line, I'm just going to put you a little bit on the spot. How is it going with your community garden at your school?
Oh, thank you for asking. So we just purchased, which we may have purchased before, but 11, and I'm sorry, I'm just driving. I'll put myself on screen in a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have,
Be careful, by all means.
what? Oh, oops. Wait, say that again.
I said, no, just be careful.
Yes, thank you, thank you. We have 11 planting beds and two big tubs. I bought like these oval shaped to put in
Okay.
raspberries and blueberries, and so we didn't have to put them in the ground. And we got a bench from the New York City Grows at a tool giveaway. They had an extra bench. So it really looks nice. And we just won a grant from GSNY. We were the first place for like parks. And so we won a nice chunk. And so we're hoping to purchase like a covered area. But the soil delivery, I followed up on this because we have these 11 planting beds. We need him. I've just stopped. Yeah. So we have these 11 planting beds that we have soil for. I requested from the city. Sorry, little boo-boo. And then they said that they're going to guarantee the soil to be delivered by the time the Parks Department, by the time the Summer Horizon starts, which is in
Oh,
2
nice.
weeks. So, which is great. We're going to have an enormous amount of soil. So, yeah, that's still a thing. So
Okay.
we don't have a delivery date yet, but I'm gonna start reaching out to people once I have a confirmation date. I did run your idea by our principal, and I had a feeling she wasn't going to be even such a fan. They're not. I don't think the 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 mindset there is. I think they worry that if something happened, so to have the younger kids shovel. I love the idea. I loved your
Right,
idea.
right. Yeah, well, and actually we at my school we had the our second delivery of soil, and it they were able to do the flower beds once again, and I think my class might do it again tomorrow because there's some more of the flower beds that need tending to. And it's quick. Once you have all the involvement, it's like 1 hour. I'm going to try to put you in touch with someone from my school, and he's the
Yeah,
lead person who
great.
has been doing this for a little while. And so, and I guess, it depends. Maybe there is some coercion that can take place of your principal to kind of make this happen. So
Yeah.
we'll see. We're not going to give a hope on the idea
Where
because
do
it's a
you
great way
get
for the
the soil?
students to learn. I'm
Where,
so sorry.
where do you get the soil delivered from?
Now those are all excellent questions to ask him directly because I'm not 100% sure.
Because I just want to throw this out too in the group, and I thank you, Ms.
Mhm.
Pat. I so originally this gentleman said he wasn't going to be able to give us the soil. First it was guaranteed, but they said in the Bronx it was a whole bunch of stuff. And I, I unintentionally, I wasn't saying it in a political kind of way, but I did say, like my whole function working with the Summer Rising is so I can bring the kids to the garden. And we do it
Mhm.
during the academic portion. It's very nice that they allow me to do this, but some kids come just for the 8 to 12 part.
Okay.
It's only academic, and I feel terrible for the kids because it really should feel like camp, and they don't
Right.
always realize they have to sign up for the after school program component.
I see.
And so it makes it a little more like camp. So I get to pull every class once a week, and they come to the garden. We do these amazing activities, and it's super. But I was so excited because we have these new planting beds, and they could really plant. We can really. They normally when they come in, we're just picking and harvesting and stuff. And so I mentioned it to the gentleman, if we don't have the soil, I need to know. And like Home Depot doesn't deliver like like truck soil, and
Mhm.
I think Lowe's might, but I was, so he wound up calling back and saying that the which I got a phone call. I mean, you're probably used this, but I'm not. The mayor's office on my phone. I was so excited, and I almost had a heart attack. And then I answered. It was this gentleman, and I said, "Oh, I saw the mayor's office." He said, "Oh yes, we work at the mayor's office, and we want you to know we would never want to hold your summer program up." And I was like, "Yeah." But I didn't mention it like that on purpose, but it worked.
Yeah.
And,
It worked out.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So mulch, I wanted to ask the group about bulk mulch and bulk soil just for the future, because I don't even know how much is going to wind up getting delivered, because I think we'll always want more after this. So,
Okay, all right. Ms. Patterson, you wanted to comment on something that Ms. Roth was saying? And then Ms. Dickerson.
Yes, maybe you can use plastic shovels with the kids. What I did is I went to Dollar Tree and I bought a bunch of those plastic shovels that kids use at the beach. And we gave them to the little kids to dig up the soil. Because the little ones don't know any difference. They just want to put some soil, in a bed. So we use the plastic shovels. Now for the mulch and the soil, I had gone around to a lot of the nurseries and the garden people, not necessarily Home Depot or Lowe's. For years we used to deal with Tony's up in Westchester County in Larchmont,
okay.
and he would deliver a lot of soil and a lot of mulch to us. Now we're getting it from the Parks Department. I don't know, I'm sure there might be a program between DOE and the parks and the Parks Department, but you're going to have to kind of tap that around, because I'm sure there's a program, because there's too many schools that have gardens. But
Yes.
but most of our soil and our mulch, we made connections with a lot of the nurseries. And when they would get their overage of soil and mulch, they would send it to us. And if you need mulch right away, Seton Falls Park, we still have mulch. We
Oh,
have a small pile left, but it's enough to probably fill up maybe 3 shopping carts.
oh, that's great.
So
Great.
if you want it, I think I may even have a photo. I'll send a photo to you,
Thank
and
you.
you're welcome to come and get it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. You might have to sift some of it because it's been
Yeah.
here now since March. So you
Yeah.
might have to sift the top layer or something,
Uh,
Okay?
No, I'm so excited. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so
You're
much.
you're welcome.
Ms. Dickerson?
Hi, Miss Roth. How are you? Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Well, kind of, right? I know.
Yes.
Listen, let me ask you, the summer rising after school is only for the students that are in the summer rising? Or is it open to
So
others?
it could be anyone, but you have to sign up for it. Yes, you have to sign up in advance, and there's like such a small window. Our summer rising program at PS21 covers, we have about 3 schools attending. So, like I'm a social worker for students in temporary housing, and those students get first priority, and children need or recommended for academic remediation will be put in it unless the parents refuse. They don't, it's not an obligation. And so the academic classes are 8 to 12. I don't think all the kids always realize. But they do have academic classes, and I think some of the teachers do have fun components, but then the kids have lunch, then the rest is camp. And then on Fridays, we have MMCC that does our after school program, and they work with the camp. I don't know where it is, but I know it's like in Westchester or Rockland County, and they have a lake, and they bring them there on Fridays, and they have swim lessons, but they have shows and dance and sports and things. And last summer I stayed and worked for that also, so we did gardening, but they really have a lot of activities.
Okay, do you still, or I'm not sure if you still have my number, or my number is in the chat.
Okay.
Can you give me a call at some point? Because, I'm still trying to work and help with our New Yorker families.
Right.
And also, my meeting is on the 27th, and I'm hoping that you will join me again.
Would love to.
Okay, awesome. We'll talk.
Yeah, if you want to put your number in, because I joined the meeting late, so I missed that. But I'm going to also add a link. One of my colleagues was asking about free summer programs, and another colleague. Put your email in, I'll send it to you, because I'm looking in the group chat. Somebody mentioned, does anybody know about summer programs for the kids. And one of my colleagues put in a great link for amazing, just all free summer stuff. It was really good. But I'll send that to you.
I have it in the chat. It's probably toward the front,
Okay.
the beginning of the chat.
Yeah. Is it okay if you put it in? Because when you join, you only get from, like, I'm only getting from
Oh,
7.
Yeah, from that point on.
I
From
got
that,
you. I got you. Okay.
So if you could put your contact information again, that would be great.
Without a doubt. You
Thank
be
you.
safe traveling.
You too. Thank you. I'm home now. I'm just sitting at my front of my house.
oh, okay. All right. Any other questions, concerns before we close out the meeting? Anyone?
Yeah, give me the, what's it? Just give me the keys.
Miss Roth, don't forget to mute
Sorry.
yourself.
Yes, I'm so sorry. We had to be in the car.
No problem. Any other questions or concerns before we close out our meeting? All right. Mr. James, so you're the only committee member I have here, so I need a motion from you to close out our meeting.
So moved.
Okay. Great. Thank you all once again. This is our last meeting
Ms.
for.
Denise,
Yes,
I
I'm
was
so sorry.
hoping to present.
Oh, I'm so sorry,
Yeah,
Mr.
that one
Dearborn.
project.
Yes, so I'm so sorry, Mr. Dearborn. Sorry.
You did say there
Did I
was a
speak to you?
presentation.
Wait, hold on one second. Mr. Dearborn, did I speak to you earlier in the week?
You spoke to my colleague Corey, probably Corey Hassan.
Oh, okay. You see, I know I was kind of a little bit confused because I was like, I don't think no, I spoke to someone different. I'm so
Right.
sorry about
And
that.
I thought you meant closing out regular business, and that
No,
there'd be time for me to. So I'm sorry to interrupt.
No. Go right ahead, Mr. Dearborn. I'm
Okay.
so sorry. Hang in there, people. We're fine. That's fine.
All right. Well,
Go
thank
right
you
ahead,
very
Mr.
much.
Motion
And
withdrawn.
Yes, motion withdrawn. Thank you, Mr. James. I like that. You
And I'll
keep
try
it
to be
straight and
brief so
narrow,
that
Mr.
you can all get back to your evening. My name's Gary Dearborn. I work with the New York Restoration Project. We're a not-for-profit that owns 52 community gardens, one of which is in your district. And we're here tonight because we received a state grant from State Parks to do some improvements at a community garden on Eastchester Road, 3634 Eastchester Road in the Edenwald neighborhood. And the state requires that the community board review the work and pen a resolution of support before we can go into contract. So that brings me here tonight, and I appreciate you getting me on the agenda before you close out for the summer. I have just a couple slide images if you'd allow me to share. And
Sure.
I'll take.
Go right.
Very
You
good.
could go right ahead, sir. Go right ahead.
Let's see if we can do this.
It's tricky. It's tricky, Mr. Dearborn. I'll warn you.
Okay. Trying to share my screen. Let's see.
Are you on a laptop, Mr.
Yeah,
Dearborn?
I'm actually on an iPad.
Oh, on the iPad. Okay. No, sorry. I thought I would
see
be
if I
able
can
to
get this to
this.
work.
The share button might be at the top somewhere.
Yeah, it does have a share. Boy. Well, I think I should just talk it through.
Well, you know what you could do, Mr. Dearborn? I believe I did put my email in the chat earlier.
Okay.
And what you could do is email the presentation to me, and then I'll share it on your behalf.
That would be great. Thank you.
No problem.
And if I can find. I'm looking for your email. I apologize.
Oh, you wait. I'll put it in again. No worries. Hold on. Give me 1 second, and I'll put that in again.
Surprised I can't share.
Okay. Oh wait, you got it, Mr. Dearborn. You did. I think you.
Yeah, I think it's just the whiteboard though. It's not actually my screen.
Oh yes, it is the whiteboard. Okay.
Um,
Well, I put my email address in.
well, let me just walk you through it because it's very
Okay.
simple. It's 3634 East Chester Road in Edenwald. It's
Wait,
about a
Mr. Dearborn,
4,000.
I'm sorry. Wait, Mr. Dearborn, can you give me that address
Sure.
again,
Yeah.
please?
3634
3664.
3634
Oh, sorry, 3634
East Chester Road,
East Chester Road.
and it's called East Chester Road Community Garden. This is we hold that in our land trust, so it's owned by the New York Restoration Project, and we have garden members that grow vegetables and herbs there. It's about 4,000 square feet. It's a
Okay.
narrow space in between behind people's backyards, essentially, and it fronts onto East Chester Road. It's about 200 feet long by 35 feet wide. So our state grant allows us to bring in a dedicated water service. In other words, an in-ground water service. So what we'll do is connect into the DEP water main in East Chester Road, bring in a subsurface pipe, and then bring in a meter and a protection devices that the city requires for irrigation, so that gardeners have a dedicated water service. As you heard tonight, water is key for gardening, and the state grant allows us to do that. We're also going to rebuild the garden beds, about a dozen raised garden beds, and bring in clean soil for folks. It's about a $75,000 value, so it's pretty significant. And the work would be happening this fall after the garden season's over, so we won't be disturbing gardeners that are growing food right now. And I can send you the draft resolution that the state would like us to ask you to approve. And this is part of a grant for 6 different gardens for a total value of about $600,000. So I'm talking to a number of boards in the Bronx on this very same subject. And that's essentially it. So it's we're matching it with some private funds that NYRP is raising. So I think the total state funds is about $480,000.
Okay. All right. I have a question for you, and I see a few hands raised here. Mr.
And I'm going to
Dearborn.
try to email you that presentation while we're
Yes,
speaking.
yes,
So please go ahead.
please do. Because we would definitely like to have the presentation on the record as well, and be able to share it with constituents via our YouTube channel. So, Mr. Dearborn, wait, don't go away. You're right. You're here, right?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay,
I'm listening.
perfect. All right. So the first hand I saw is Mr. Ted James, and then we'll go to Ms. Patterson.
Hi, Mr. Dearborn. How are you doing?
I'm good, Mr. James. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you. The whole community garden thing is relatively new to me. So can you just explain to us how this works?
Be
Who
happy
is
to,
allowed
sure.
to participate? What can they do? Can they grow food? How are their crops managed and that type of stuff?
So we have 52 community gardens around the city. We're one of several different groups. There's the Bronx Land Trust. There's Brooklyn Queens Land Trust. There's also the New York City Parks Green Thumb program, of which we're a member. So we're part of that family of organizations. We're a not-for-profit. We hold the property in a land trust, so it can't be built upon. And what we do is sign up garden members every year. In April, we have a beginning garden member meeting, a kickoff meeting. And if you want to participate in any of our gardens, that's the time to go. And there's kind of an internal governance that we ask gardeners to sign on to, and that's about equity, sharing the space, opening and closing the gates, basic good governance rules. And at that time, one can be allotted a garden space, a garden bed, so that you can grow vegetables, herbs, fruit for yourself. The gardens are open to the public. We have a certain number of hours that our garden members have to open up. There's no fees charged. So it's a public benefit. So it acts almost like a small park.
So as a follow-up question, I know this is not the sign up here. You've already passed that, but as of now, do you have lots available, or have they all been taken for this year?
For this particular garden, I would have to check with my engagement staff who work with the garden members to see if there are open plots, and I'd be happy to get back to you on that.
And then the last thing, I noticed that I'm looking at the location on the map here,
Excellent,
and
thank you.
there is an auto parts a garage, I should say, auto garage that has been before this board a number of times, not this particular body, but general board over the last couple of weeks. And it looks as if that location is directly across from that garage at 222nd and East Chester Road. Am I correct?
I'm not familiar with the garage. We don't have any buildings, garages or houses or that like on our property. So I'm not familiar with that
Okay.
structure. So it looks like an open space. It looks like people's backyards, essentially. It's a
But
long,
you have a
narrow
very
strip.
small footprint on East Chester itself.
Correct, yeah. The
And it
frontage
goes
onto
way
East
in.
Chester is quite small. I'm recollecting that the property next to it is a garage. That's private property.
Yeah. Okay.
And Ms. Denise, I'm getting you that presentation. I apologize for my clumsiness here. There was
No,
another question.
no worry. Yes, there's another question. Ms. Patterson, you had a question? And then I have
Yes,
a few
I have a
questions.
question. I know where that garden is. We've worked in that garden. Oh my God, it's been so many years. I would say at least 20 years ago, I worked in that garden. That garden is between 222nd and 223rd, behind all of the yards that
Correct.
face 223rd Street. And
Correct.
they have a small gate that you can come in on East Chester Road.
Correct.
Okay, okay, I'm glad to know that that garden is workable, because I hadn't seen any action in that garden for quite some time.
We have a pretty active group, and they do grow every year.
Oh, because I hadn't seen anybody, because I've gone past it a number of times looking to see, some activities, but it's nice to know that it's being actively worked on.
And I think this project will increase its profile. That's part of our goal, to get
Oh,
more usership. That's our goal, is to have more garden members and more activity.
okay, and a follow-up. There is a garden. Do you have a list of gardens that you all have in the Bronx? Because there's another green thumb garden that I see that is not being used, that's very close to me. It's over here on East 229th Street, and it 229th and Needham Avenue. It's on the side of the last house. No, I can't even, yeah, it's East 2, because the houses break up. It's East 229th Street and Needham Avenue, and it's on the side of the last house on that block. It used to be a garden, but I don't see any activity in there at all. It almost looks like it could be that house's backyard, but it is not. It's a green thumb garden, because I remember years ago growing up in this community when it was a garden.
Don't think that's our property. I'm looking it up right now. I do have a list of our
It
Bronx
got to be
properties.
like maybe 1219, 1220, something like that, East 229th Street.
Okay.
And Needham runs right parallel to it. But there's a garden there that used to be a garden, but I went past it yesterday and I'm like, who is using this property now? The beds are still there, but there's nothing there.
Yeah, I don't think that one's ours.
So you think it might be Green Thumb?
Yeah, I mean, there are over 500 green thumb gardens around the city. They're a major land manager.
But it's not restoration, right?
I don't think it's restoration, man.
Okay, thank you very much for your help.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Any other questions?
Yes, I have a question for you. So
That's right.
there
I'm
is
sorry.
no problem. There is a community board member that I mentioned at the beginning of the meeting, Mr. Fuller,
Yes.
who has he is kind of in and of himself has started this little community garden. And so I'm trying to make sure that he gets in touch with the right organizations like Green Thumb, and to make sure that he has more people engaged in his project, so it's not solely reliant on just him doing the work here. And I think that it would definitely will be of interest to many of our community members. So my question to you is it possible that he can apply to be part of your organization, or it doesn't work like that? You choose the location.
So we have another program that's called Gardens for the City,
Okay,
which
Gardens
is
for
kind of like a micro grant, and it's on our website, New York nyrp.org.
Okay, when you
And
get a chance, just slip that in the chat for me, please.
sure.
Thanks.
And we have a program where we allow people to apply twice a year for improvements for anything as simple as a soil and mulch delivery or some
Okay.
tools all the way up to a full build. And if we can secure, and we pay for that with outside funding.
Okay.
So it's a competitive application process. It's also publicized on the Green Thumb website as well. We do, on occasion, do quite a bit of work on Green Thumb properties too, because the needs are so great. And that's probably the best way for Mr. Fuller to seek some support from us. So I'll put that in the chat. So it's called Gardens for the City.
Gardens for the
And
City.
yeah, and that's where we provide support to garden members, garden groups, even Board of Ed sites, schools. We've done a lot of work on NYCHA properties when they're, properties that our organization does not own. So the whole goal is to provide support beyond our properties.
Okay. Thank you so much. And
You're welcome.
on your website, you have a listing of your properties?
Yes, we do. Yep.
Okay,
So
perfect.
I'm going to try and put in the chat before we close out tonight.
Yes.
Um,
Now, Mr. Dearborn, did you want me to share the presentation with the?
If you can, yeah, I think it would be helpful, particularly answering some of the questions about geography that Mr. James had.
Okay, hold on one moment. Wait,
Sorry.
Mr. James and Ms. Patterson, you put your hands up again, or this was from previous?
Yes, I did put my hand up again.
Okay.
My hand was, I thought I had put it down. Okay, I'll put it down. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. James, give me 1 second because I just want to share the information that Mr. Dearborn has sent in the email with the group. So hold on 1 second. Wait,
I'm gonna just ask you to page down once you get up to that.
Sure. Hold on 1 second. I just need to make sure. For some reason. Okay. Wow. And you already sent it, you said, right?
I did.
Okay.
If it didn't get through, I'll have to try it another time.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead, Mr. James, because I am not seeing the email right now.
Mr. Dearborn,
While
so
I'm looking.
if I
Yes, sir.
if I understood you correctly, you're saying that currently there's no irrigation at that location,
That
and
is correct.
part of your grant is to try to get irrigation into that garden. Am I
That is
correct?
correct. Yes.
So
Yep.
so how are they operating right now without any type of on-premises water?
Yeah, good question. It's been difficult for them. Lots of times people will fill up rain barrels that we deploy on our sites from a hose. Sometimes that rain barrels are filled up from a hose from a hydrant. We get hydrant permits from the Green Thumb program, where you're allowed to hook a hose attachment up to a fire hydrant. And so we'll fill up a 50-gallon rain barrel and then gardeners will then manually water their beds from that. So that's been our workaround for many years. So that kind of holds people back in terms of what they can grow. And only the most stalwart kind of, folks willing to put in all the sweat equity will participate. Having a hose bib available at the garden with pressurized water just makes it so much easier, because then we can run other hoses to every bed. So that would be the change.
And you came to the board today not just to present this, but do you need anything from the board or this committee in
Yes.
order
Yes, Mr.
to help
Yes,
in
I
the
do.
process?
Yes,
Yeah,
he's looking for a letter of support.
Okay.
that is correct. Actually, a resolution.
A resolution. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Dearborn, I'm working on that right now because I'm sorry, Mr. James, to cut you off. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, the only other thing I had to ask was,
Mhm.
do you have, assuming that you get the letter of support from us, resolution, do you have a time frame in mind as to how soon we can get irrigation? I'm really interested in seeing this area and maybe even getting involved. That's why I'm asking some of the
Yeah.
questions.
So the work would happen this fall, after the gardening season closes out. So it would be fall of 2023. So it'd be in place for next season, for the
Got it.
2024 gardening season.
Thank you. I'm sure to get my application in by next April.
Yes.
Thank
And
you.
Miss Denise, is it possible for you to just read your email address, because I cannot find it in
Sure.
the chat? I'm very sorry.
No worries. Hold on one moment. Because now I've lost everyone on my screen. The email address is dbond
Mm-hmm.
at CB. Hold on one second, Beatrice. At CB dbondcb12 at Gmail.
Okay, let me send you out just a quick image. That's just
Yes,
one
thank
page.
you.
And apologize that I've been
All right. Oh, give me just
rather
1 second.
technically challenged here.
No problem. Hold on 1 second.
You'd think that I would have gotten past this with all the COVID work that we had to do. Okay, dbond at cb12 at gmail.com. Yeah, for some reason I'm not allowed to send it.
All right. Sorry for the delay here. I did not receive the email, but
Yeah,
did you get my email address correct?
I hope so.
Yeah,
Dbond
dbond
at
dbond cb12 at Gmail.
without, okay, all right, pardon me.
Yeah,
Try
dbond.
again.
Yeah, dbond cb12 at gmail.com. I just needed another committee member to come on in order for us to be able to take that vote. So this way, because we do not have another meeting until September, and I wouldn't want to hold you up, Mr. Dearborn, as opposed to being
Right.
able to get that information to you. Okay, perfect. All right, hold on 1 second. Let's double check.
Denise, do you need me to reach out to anybody for you?
Yes, I think if you could do me a favor, if you could call Ivan for me.
I sure will. Okay.
All right, thank you so much. Give me 1 second. Okay. So, all right. And okay, so. All right, if I get Mr. Ivan, we're if not, I will try. I'm gonna try Michelle Brumfield as well. So this way we can make sure that we get the business concluded.
I very much appreciate that.
No problem. Hold on 1 moment, please.
Okay, so the email just went out finally. So that should be coming to you shortly.
Mr. Dearborn, did you put your contact information in the chat?
All right, Ms. Brumfield is going to be
I will
joining
do
us, and
that
then
right
therefore
now,
we will
Mr.
have a
James.
quorum. So that works out.
Thank you.
Excuse my barking dog in the background. He saw a cat. It's okay.
And I'm wondering, did that email get to you? I think you might be muted.
We have success. I did receive your email.
Oh, good.
I am looking at it now to see, was it PowerPoint? Was it
It's just a screen capture from a
just
presentation.
one
So
page?
just one page would be fine.
Okay,
Yep.
perfect. Okay,
Thank you.
all right. And Ms. Roth, yes, that's fine.
Thank you.
Hold on one second. Let me see how. I'm just seeing how best to share what Mr. Dearborn has sent me. Oh, Ms. Bromfield is on. Thank you so much, Ms. Bromfield. And I believe we will have quorum now. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, we're good to go with that. All right. Ms. Dickerson, you don't have to worry about contacting Mr. Ivan. It's fine.
I reached out, but he didn't answer.
And it's perfectly fine. We're good. We have quorum. All right, hold on one moment, please. Let me just one technical issue. Okay, I have it good to go. I'm going to share my screen so everyone can see Mr. Dearborn's slide. Thank you so much for putting your contact information in the chat, Mr. Dearborn. Okay,
Oh,
can
excellent.
everyone? Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. Now hold on. What I'm going to try to attempt to do, I'm going to make this larger. Let's see if that will work for me. Ooh, that was too large. Hold on.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay. Is that good? Can everyone
That's
see
perfect. Yep.
Yeah.
that? Okay. Go
So
ahead.
just to orient everyone, the green narrow rectangle is the garden in question. Eastchester Road is to the left-hand side of the plan. The frontage and the gate is quite narrow. So our visibility from the street is pretty limited. And as you can tell, it fronts onto the backyards of a number of houses and onto the side yard of one house that has a driveway right onto Eastchester Road. To the left-hand side are just 3 photographs of the existing garden, some raised bed, one really large shade tree, and a little bit of landscaping. So what we'll be doing is coming in off Eastchester Road with a below-ground pipe, and then we'll have a water meter and what's called a reduced pressure zone valve, an RPZ, to protect the city's water main. And then from that, we'll have an irrigation line that goes to service the new garden beds. And in the plan, we'll be implementing 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, probably 12 to 14 raised beds with a little bit of circulation space to walk, so you can reach in and actually do the work in the beds. The beds will be higher so that one doesn't have to bend over as far. That's a common problem for some of these lower beds. And we'll bring in new clean soil. And as part of these projects, we work with the garden group to do the layout so that it works with the way the current users that are functioning on the space. We often provide free garden starts, vegetable starts at the beginning of the season to kind of kickstart people too. So it's part of the work we do. And like I said, this would happen in the fall of 2023 and be done before the next season starts. Our season is generally April 1st through October 31st. And then we have kind of a harvest celebration with gardeners in November. And generally the sites are not open, during the winter months and that early springtime. And that is the scope of the work. And I again apologize for not being able to put this up earlier. So with my reason for being here is to respectfully ask that the board would consider a resolution of support for this work that NYRP could then use to secure our contract with the state to do the work.
Okay. All right,
Absolutely.
Mr. Dearborn, is it okay that I stop sharing my screen?
Unless there's any questions, I'm done presenting.
Okay. Any questions about what we're looking at on the screen or what Mr. Dearborn has stated as the scope of the project?
I promise this will be my final question.
Go right ahead, Mr. James.
Mr. Dearborn, in terms of getting access, when the garden is in full operation, is there a lock gate? How does one access the garden?
Good question. So all of our gardens have a fence and a gate and a lock. This garden in particular has a very low fence because just the density of the neighborhood, it hasn't needed a big tall fence. But generally, yes, we have a padlock. And when one becomes a garden member, you become a key holder so that you have the privileges to open and close, as well as the responsibility to share with your other fellow garden members different hours. So one person would say be responsible for opening and closing on Friday. Another person would be opening and closing on Saturday. So it does function like a small, kind of democratic sharing of a space.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question. This is Michelle Bromfield. Not in respect to the presentation, just where exactly is the location? I see East Chester Road, but where exactly?
Yes,
What's that
ma'am.
cross?
It is 3634 East Chester Road, and I do not have the cross street at the tip of my.
I believe it's Ms. Patterson, you could help me with this. I believe it's 222nd.
Yes, it's between East 222nd
Yes.
and 223rd.
Yeah.
If you remember where the Chinese laundry used to be on East Chester Road, it's between East 223rd and 222nd. It's a small little gate you'll see, and you'll see a nice little sign that say community garden.
Okay, thank you.
That is correct.
Thank you.
East 222nd is the closest cross street, and the next one up is
223rd.
East 223rd. Yep.
Mhm.
Thank you, Ms. Bromfield.
All right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Okay. Mr. James, is your hand up again, or I can lower your hand?
Lower it, please. Thank you.
Okay, I did. All right. So, Mr. Dearborn, just as a technical point, we usually what we write is not a resolution, but we call it a letter of support, and I believe that the two things would be the same.
Yes, as long as it's voted on and the full board endorses,
Yes.
that
So
would be the same.
correct. All right. So what we are going to do right now is we're going to take a committee vote right now, and then that will be then passed on to the full board at the end of this month, and then
Thank you.
and that would generate the letter of support. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Perfect. So this vote is just for the committee the board committee members. So I'm going to ask one of the board committee members to make a motion that we should take a vote in as to whether or not we are going to provide a letter of support to the New York Preservation Project as it was presented here this evening.
So this is Michelle Bromfield. I make a motion that we do a letter of support, like make a recommendation to the full board for a letter of support for the New York Preservation's project on East Chester, 220, on the location described.
3634 East Chester Road.
3634 East Chester Road.
Okay. Can we take a vote on that now? Is there anyone, let's just take a vote on that, please.
Call the roll.
Yeah, yes, I'm sorry, Ted James?
Absolutely.
Okay. Ms. Bromfield?
Yes.
And I'm in favor. Ms. Cornell?
Yes.
Okay. All in favor of the letter of support?
Aye.
Aye.
And
Aye.
the ayes have it, and we will then generate the letter of support.
Well, no, we take it to the full board, right? For a vote.
Yes, but I mean, in terms of the committee.
Yes.
In terms of the committee, we have said that we are going to pass it on now to the board, to the full
Thank you
committee.
all so much. What I could do is send you, Ms. James, some text that you could copy into the.
Okay, all right. So
I'll have
what
my
I'll
staff
do,
person get in
if you,
touch with you tomorrow to send that information. And
all right.
if I could have your contact information, Mr. James, then I'll make sure that our community engagement folks get in touch with you so that you're in a good position for next season. Or even if there's garden plots
I have
this
your
season.
email address, so I'm going to send you an email right
Okay,
now.
very good. Thank you, sir.
Great. And our full board meeting is it's June 22nd.
Very good. And I will be sure to be able to share a screen if I need to. My apologies.
No problem, no problem. Ms. Patterson, I saw what you sent me. I'll give you a call a little bit later. Okay. All right. All right. So if I can have another motion to close out the meeting. I think we've handled all the business that we needed to handle this evening.
This is Ted James. I make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
Yeah. Do I have a second for that?
It's 8:33 p.m.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you all and have a great evening. Oh, it was great meeting you, Mr. Dearborn. Thank you so much. Thank you for the enlightenment, and thank you, Mr. Rodriguez, for joining us. Thank you all.
Have a good night, everyone.
Yes, thank you all
Good
for
night,
your time.
everyone. Bye.
Good night. Good night.
It was a great meeting, Denise.
Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.